Alright, so last week's project was to build a command line library. This was done in a group, and since I'm on the Java team, there's also the Python data team. We had to work in tangent with them last week. They created data sets, which included these JSON files over here to the left, books, DVDs, and periodicals. I think there's 120,000 items in total that we had to load into our Java side of things. But here, I just wanted to show you so you can check it out. So right now we got member login, librarian login, or quit program. So I'll enter one. It's asking for a member ID. Now it doesn't actually display it, but in the files we have the members as M001, so on and so on, 2, 3, 4. And librarians is L001 and keeps going as well. But I want to show you the member side of things first. So I'll put M001, and there's our member menu now. You see I'm logged in as Alice Johnson. We can borrow an item, we can return, check our borrowed item, search the library, check out, you see it all. So if I hit 1 for borrowed item, it's saying to enter in the ID. Well, I don't actually know any IDs, so I'm going to put some gibberish in for now to go back to the previous menu. So if I do return item, it does the same thing because it says that we have no items to return. Let's go to check outstanding fees. You see it's signifying that there's $0 in outstanding fees, so there's an option when you return a book, how many days late you're returning it, and it calculates a late fee for that. I actually brought it up with my instructors that it's kind of a bad logic to have the member choose how many days late they are, because it's almost like getting a speeding ticket and choosing what you want to pay for it or what you want the bill to be. I mean, honestly, the librarian option should have had like some kind of mathematical method that included determining generating like a borrow and a return date, and then it would pull from that. It was generating the list, but I think that might of all the items, I think that might be in the librarian menu. So I don't know. I showed you some of the member stuff. So I'll hop into librarian. I said that's L001. So librarian can add or remove items. They can view all the members. I'll show you view all members. So there's only 2 members right now for the sake of things. But like I said, wait till you see how much items there are. Is it search library that shows it all? No, I thought there was a way to view them all, but I guess not. But so the member had search library as well, so we can enter search keywords. So I'll do Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So I'll type in hitchhikers as a keyword. Sorry, I'm struggling to type with one hand while I'm filming. I don't know what the hell that is. Schoolgirl hitchhikers? That doesn't sound like the right kind of DVD. The data team loaded in all the information for us, so I don't actually know what all is in here. Let's see. I know. So I actually had to showcase this project for our instructors. And one of the ones they wanted me to search while I was showing them was hackers, I believe. Yeah, there we go. So there is, looks like, yeah, a book. 2 books, actually. You see it shows the ID. It says that it's available to borrow. So the ID is what we would type in on the member side of things to actually like reserve that item. And then you see there's the hackers DVD. That's what they wanted me to look up. So I'll show you one more last function just to borrow to top it off. So the DVD's ID is D174. Go back, go to member login one more time, M001 for member 1, borrow item, and what I say that was? I said D174, so enter in the ID you want to borrow, D174. You borrowed Hackers, so now I'll return that item, and it was D174. See, there we go. Enter in the number of days late. So I'll put 60 days just to show the test. Now I can do check outstanding fees with 5, and you see the outstanding fee is $60. I think our method was set at $1 a day, obviously. So this was a pretty cool project, being that we integrated data from JSON files from the other team that's in our cohort. The files that I actually worked on were the main application. I did parts of that, so that's what the CLI, the command line interface, was actually running this with. I also worked on the librarian portion, which I actually wrote this one in full. Not very long, but you know, it has classes and strings and just methods and stuff like that that allow the librarian to be called on in the main application. I also wrote book, which more or less just, you know, was letting us display like the author, the title, the ISBN, genre. It created the library item book. You see there's like an actual library item portion as well. And then I also did the reservable code, which was honestly very easy. It was 3 lines for that, but that lets you reserve the item. I don't know, this project was honestly one of the cooler ones I've done so far, especially because it wasn't like a singular project. It was integrating like teamwork and 2 different teams in the tech field. Honestly enjoyed doing this. You can see I was commenting each line. So I started doing that originally, where I would comment what the code is doing for each line, but honestly it started taking too much time out of it. Some of these files, you know, would take me all day to actually figure out how to write them and stuff. But the fact that 7 of us in Java and 4 of them in data were able to put all this together in a week is pretty honestly cool. 3 weeks ago I couldn't even fathom doing something like this, and the fact that everything's starting to click is just surreal. So I just made a short video to let you check it out, because I know you'd be somewhat interested. Alright, peace.